Hey guys, welcome to my review of Toy Story 4. Stick around if you have seen the film. If you haven't and like spoilers, I guess you can watch, but I do advise watching this film after you have watched it for yourself. So coming into Toy Story 4, I got really excited in the last week of leading up to this release. This was a film I was looking forward to. Now, not from the beginning though. It took me until I saw a trailer, which I thought looked really good, for me to enjoy it. I felt like number 3 had a great ending and the film was unnecessary. Now, I take that all back. This film was absolutely wonderful. I personally feel like the film had its flaw points. One issue I have is that Woody's story was brilliant. I feel like there could have been a B story for the toys, not them being in the RV. Another B is the lack of, like, as I said, the other toys, but even the lack of Buzz. There were some scenes with Buzz. I feel like Buzz was put in the back seat, but as you know by the ending, this is all Woody's film. It's leading to this big climax. It took a while for the film to really take off, and I really liked the introduction scene in the rain, and seeing like Andy as a kid again. I thought there might be a scene with Andy in the film, even like him walking past at the carnival or something. I mean, he could have been there. It was cool to see the Dinoco Easter egg that's in a lot of Disney film. There were callbacks as well to like the originals, which I loved. Toy Story 2 is probably the one that I felt like it connected similar with. You've got like the Prospector, and then you've got Jesse and stuff, which is like Gabby and is it Benson, I think, the ventriloquist dummy, who I got to admit, they were quite terrifying for a kid's film. And the story led up to something you thought was going to happen. You just didn't know whether it was going to or not. And in a way, you kind of didn't want it to, but Woody definitely fulfilled his purpose. The other big thing in this film was the spork Forky. Forky, I feel like, as much as it's not my favorite Toy Story film, it's the most comedic. And Forky in this film was so funny. There were a few other characters that really stood out. It was cool to have some moments with Mr. Potato Head as well. Obviously, Don Rickles passed away in, was it 2016? Might have been a while ago. Let me know if you know in the comment. But I just felt like it was an enjoyable film. Bonnie was fantastic as well. Seeing the first time that Bonnie's name was written where Andy's name was yeah, that hit me. As I love the original films, but all the characters were so nicely here, so funny. I don't know, the ending was hyped up to be this absolutely emotional thing, and yes, it made me sad. It's the end of Woody obviously leaving and living with Bo Peep, who I've got to say was brilliant in this film. I would have liked to have seen her in her original costume, like the pink, but it symbolizes change and there's things to learn from the film. But Bo was great, having the sheep back as well. Just so many callbacks. The new characters, including, there's so many to name. You've got Duke Kaboom, Gabby. They just all did a wonderful job. And there was no one that had bad acting, in my opinion. It was obviously all voice, but there was no one who really seemed out of character, which you can get sometime in films. You can say that they don't suit the role. But I think Disney really outdid themselves in this, especially with it being the 4th film in the Toy Story series. I really do wonder whether this is the end or they'll milk it again. In my opinion, as much as I enjoyed the film, I would have liked it to end at Toy Story 3. The way that they ended Toy Story 3, for me, being 9 years old at the time, was so emotional. I loved it. I thought it was the end. And then they bring out this, and it's like Finding Nemo. Finding Dory was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one, which is what Toy Story does here. Anyway, guys, if you've seen Toy Story 4, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comment. My overall rating for Toy Story 4 is an 8 out of 10. Yes, I do feel like this film was so enjoyable, watchable again. It just it couldn't hit that 10 mark for me. I think a lot of people will hit that 10 mark. It felt real, and it was brilliantly done by Disney, and that's why I'm giving Toy Story 4 an 8 out of 10. I don't know how I forgot to mention them, but I somehow did. Ducky and Bunny, absolutely brilliant. Jordan, let's say Key and Peele. I forget their names. It's Jordan Peele, and I forget Key's name. They were so good in these carnival scenes. There's so much to talk about. I might make a video where I rank the Toy Stories as well, my first ranking video. But I've got to speak highly of them because they were so funny, as well as Forky in the film. But that is now it from me.